Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of our official party and the playing of musical honors. Please remain standing for the invocation given by Chaplain Yu.
I invite you to pray with me. Good and loving Lord, amid the continuous drumbeat of basic military training, the rigors of drill and ceremony, and the daily battle rhythm which dictates the movements of trainees from before reveille to long after the last note of taps, we pause to celebrate the accomplishment of these soon-to-be airmen and guardians of the 326th Training Squadron. They who stand before you this morning at parade rest have known more parades than rest over these past 7.5 weeks, under the leadership and corrective guidance of their ever-present MTIs, and through their resolve to never quit, they have persevered. We thank you for your faithfulness, Lord, you who quenched the thirst of our parched souls, and who is slow to anger and quick to forgive. Bless these men and women with courage and conviction as they move on to their technical training. They, who have raised their right hand in service to our great nation at a time fraught with peril. Perfect timing to unleash the bulldogs of the 326th. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Basic Military Training graduation ceremony. We would like to introduce our distinguished guests, beginning with the host for today's ceremony. The Commander, Air Force Basic Military Training, Colonel Jeff Pixley, accompanied by his wife, Andrea. The Superintendent, Air Force Basic Military Training, Chief Master Sergeant Leary Gaitan. Our reviewing official and senior enlisted leader, the Deputy Commander and Command Chief, Air Education and Training Command, Major General William Spangenthal, and Chief Master Sergeant Eric Thompson. From the graduating squadron, the Commander and Superintendent, 326 Training Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Nicholas Smith, and Chief Master Sergeant Michael Pelletier. Also in attendance with us today, the Commander, 37th Training Wing, Colonel Rocky Wilson, accompanied by his wife, Nisa. The Command Chief, 37th Training Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Mike Morgan, accompanied by his wife, Kristen. The Vice Commander, 37th Training Wing, Colonel Trey Irick, accompanied by his wife, Wabanunque. The San Antonio City Council District 4 Councilwoman Andrea Rocha Garcia. Bexar County Precinct 3 Commissioner, Ms. Trish DeBerry. The Chief Executive Officer, Centurion Military Alliance, Dr. Shante Hall. The Chief Operating Officer, Centurion Military Alliance, Mr. Bob LaBruta, Major General, United States Air Force, retired. The President, Centurion Military Alliance Board of Directors, Dr. Stephen Hall. And although time does not permit us to introduce all of our distinguished guests, the 737th Training Group is proud to welcome each of you. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. Our Commander of Airmen is Master Sergeant Nathan Coley, Master Military Training Instructor, 326 Training Squadron. Major General Spangenthal will review today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Thank you. Please be seated.
Sir, the parade present or accounted for.
Publish the order.
Attention to order! T-Dad, March today! Non-commissioned officer on the day! Technical Sergeant Heaton, by order of Colonel Wilson! Officers! Hold! Hold!
Seven 37th Training Group, United States Air Force, Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas. Subject, Commander's Excellence Streamer. The Commander's Excellence Streamer is awarded to the 326th Training Squadron, Flight 624, for their significant accomplishments demonstrating teamwork, excellence, and esprit de corps during the period of 7 June 2021 through 22 July 2021. Signed, Nicholas Smith, Lieutenant Colonel, United States Space Force.
command.
March the command in review.
Stand. Hold curve. Arms. Stand. Change pose. March. Hold curve. Arms. Pass and review. Right, 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 forward,
Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating airmen passing in review today represent a portion of the men and women who will complete basic military training this year. The 737th Training Group provides all recruits the essential military training to become motivated members of the world's greatest air and space forces. The military training instructors are responsible for the indoctrination, development, and discipline of the airmen. They have dedicated endless hours to ensure all training objectives are met. Today's graduates have proven through academic studies, military training, physical training, and the development of teamwork that they are ready to take their place in the United States Air and Space Forces. Now passing in review, the Commander of Airmen, led by Master Sergeant Nathan Coley, Master Military Training Instructor, hometown Claremont, California. From the 326th Training Squadron, Flight 629, led by Technical Sergeant Joshua Jordan, Military Training Instructor, hometown Indianapolis, Indiana. Flight 630, led by Staff Sergeant Andrew Marcinko, Military Training Instructor, hometown Boswell, Pennsylvania. Flight 631, led by Technical Sergeant Richard Harding, Military Training Instructor, hometown Killeen, Texas. Flight 632, led by Technical Sergeant Chastity Tabor, Military Training Instructor, hometown Centerville, Alabama. Flight 628, led by Technical Sergeant Raymond Terrell, Military Training Instructor, hometown Charleston, South Carolina. Flight 625, led by Master Sergeant Alex Rose, Military Training Instructor, hometown Venice, Florida. Flight 626, led by Master Sergeant Derek Baker, Military Training Instructor, hometown Howard City, Michigan. Flight 627, led by Master Sergeant Philip Cow, military training instructor, hometown, Garden Grove, California. Flight 621, led by Technical Sergeant William Snowden, military training instructor, hometown, Grand Terrace, California. Flight 622, led by Technical Sergeant Alexander Kenner, military training instructor, hometown, Alabaster, Alabama. PT Excellence Flight 623, led by Technical Sergeant Dominic Kaczynski, military training instructor, hometown, Kansas City, Missouri. Commander's Excellence Flight 624, led by Technical Sergeant Kyle Young, military training instructor, hometown, Wilmington, North Carolina. PT Excellence Flight 620, led by Technical Sergeant Timothy Atchley, military training instructor, hometown, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Flight 617, led by Staff Sergeant Justin Colmer, military training instructor, hometown, Greenville, Tennessee. Academic Excellence Flight 618, led by Technical Sergeant Robert Clark, military training instructor, hometown, Franklin, Tennessee. Flight 619, led by Staff Sergeant Caleb Johnson, military training instructor, hometown, Oswego, New York. Musical support for this morning's ceremony has been provided by graduating airmen from the 326th Training Squadron, performing under the direction of Master Sergeant Samuel Johnson, hometown, San Antonio, Texas. These individuals have been hand-selected to perform for today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Master Sergeant Thompson will now come forward and say a few words.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and congratulations to our graduates. The men and women who have come before you have airlifted troops and supplies into the jungles of Vietnam, executed precision airstrikes in the deserts of Iraq and Afghanistan, delivered humanitarian aid to villages in Africa and South America. They have launched missiles and flown satellites, defended airstrips, and strengthened partnerships. They have stood on every continent on the globe. Your training in BMT may be complete, but today you begin your journey as an airman in the greatest Air Force that has ever existed. Airmen, I leave you with this. You are joining a team that will look to you to define the character of our Air Force for years to come. We have the utmost faith in you because every time you recite the Airman's Creed, you adamantly proclaim that you will not fail, and we believe you. I hereby acknowledge your completion of all graduation requirements and have recommended to Colonel Pixley and Chief Master Sergeant Gaitan that you receive your coveted Airman's Coin, which signifies your transition today from trainees to airmen. Congratulations. Military training instructors, you may proceed.
At this part of the ceremony, the military training instructors will distribute the Venerable Airman's Coin, and for the first time, distinct Space Force coins to our Space Force graduates. The lore of military coins has many colorful suspected origins. However, a popular story stems from World War I, where American volunteers formed flying squadrons in France during the Great War. One of the volunteers was a wealthy lieutenant who took great pride in his service and had medallions cast in bronze, with his squadron's emblem on them. He gave those medallions to every member of his unit. Not long after, one of the pilots was shot down behind enemy lines and was captured by a German patrol. The German forces confiscated the pilot's possessions except for the pilot's medallion that he wore around his neck. While in confinement in a small French village, the captured pilot took advantage of a nighttime bombardment by the Allies. He donned civilian clothes and escaped after crossing the front lines to safety. He came across a French outpost where he was initially thought to be a saboteur until he showed them his unit coin. The French forces recognized the unit emblem, and instead of any harsher treatment, he received a bottle of wine. Today, several military units have developed their own coins and specific rules for them. Many organizations give out their unit coins to recognize outstanding performances and achievements. The coins the airmen and space professionals receive today are unique in that they originate here at the gateway to the Air Force and are only given to those who complete this rigorous course of instruction. On one side of the airman's coin, the original emblem of the Air Force resides as envisioned by General Henry Hap Arnold, one of the first military aviators and later commander of the Army Air Forces in World War II. Beneath the emblem, the year 1947, the birth date of the United States Air Force, and around the rim of the coin, the core values of the Air Force: integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. Inscribed on the other side of the coin is the newly recognized emblem of the Air Force, a symbol that honors the heritage of our past and represents the promise of our future. The emblem retains the core elements of the Henry Hap Arnold emblem, the Arnold wings, and the star within a circle. The modern effect of the emblem reflects our Air and Space Force today and into the future. Inscribed in a half circle above the contemporary Air Force emblem is the Air Force motto, "Aim high, fly, fight, win." And on the border of the coin, a reminder to all who see this is inscribed, "Awarded on the occasion of becoming an airman in the world's greatest Air Force." The Space Professional coin also has a distinctive design. On one side, it displays the original emblem of the Space Force, the Delta, which was first used by space units in 1961, and honors the heritage of the United States Space Force. Beneath the emblem is the year 2019, the birth date of the United States Space Force. Inscribed on the other side of the coin is the Space Force motto, "Semper Supra," which translates to "always above." This represents the Space Force's role in establishing, maintaining, and preserving our nation's dominance and freedom of operations in the space domain. On the coin's border is a commemorative inscription that reads, "Awarded on the occasion of becoming a charter member of the United States Space Force."
Ladies and gentlemen, rendering a flying salute to our graduating airmen were 4 T-6 Alphas, These aircraft are from the 559th Flying Training Squadron, 12th Flying Training Wing, Joint Base San Antonio, Randolph, Texas. Leading this formation was Lieutenant Colonel Paul Stuckey for his last flight in the United States Air Force. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Stuckey, for your service. Flight commanders, place your flights at attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as a sign of unity as our newest airmen recite the Airman's Creed. I am an American airman. Congratulations, airmen. Now how about that squadron pride? Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Flight commanders, place your flights at ease. Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Spangenthal will now come forward and address our newest airmen.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to basic military training graduation. Yeah. Hey, this day has been a long time coming. And I'm perfectly fine if you all want to show some enthusiasm, get a little undignified, if you will. It's all right, we can do that. All right, I like it. All right, so here's my promise to you. The louder you are, the quicker I will go. Well, thank you. Well, clearly, to be serious here for a second, we are in some unprecedented times as we continue navigating through the extreme challenges posed by this global pandemic, while still executing our duties as citizens and as airmen. But despite the challenges, we've made it to this very special day. In fact, this is the first time that we've been able to gather together in person for basic military training since 13 March of 2020. Of course, we have many of you all that are still joining us here today, and the reason that we've been able to get here is because we've had this unbelievable partnership and fantastic leadership between three wings: the 502nd Air Base Wing, the 59th Medical Wing, and the 37th Training Wing. They've allowed us, in these young airmen, just 7.5 weeks ago, these airmen, our nation's treasure, your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters, and your friends, you entrusted them you entrusted us to keep them safe during this extraordinary time. You trusted our NCOs, you trusted our officers, and you trusted the United States Air Force. This trust that you have shown us and the support shown by your loved ones has pushed these airmen to successfully complete basic military training and join the ranks of the world's greatest Air Force. I know you are extremely proud of their accomplishments, and so are we. These young men and women could not have achieved this goal without your support and your encouragement. So I want to start by thanking you. Thank you for all you've done to get them here, and thank you for all the support you will continue to provide them moving forward. Your loved ones represent a very small number of our country's citizens that have chosen to selflessly serve in defense of our great nation. As such, it's my great honor to host this ceremony today and introduce to you 652 airmen from the 326th Training Squadron as our nation's newest airmen. Let's hear it for them. To our newest airmen here today, this is a long time coming. You're not going to remember me. You're probably not going to remember this speech, but I have just a couple of words for you. First of all, congrats. You chose wisely in the United States Air Force. You are joining the most lethal, empowered, and well-trained forces in the world. For some of you, this service is an entirely new way of life. For others, it's family business. That's my case. I'm the son of a retired senior master sergeant, Dale Spangenthal. In fact, I was born just across the street at Wilford Hall as my dad was working here on T-38s as a mechanic. He and my mom were critical in developing my character, and they taught me the value of working hard and working with others. They pushed me and made sure I kept true to my family values, our family values, a story that could be told over and over here today by everyone. Today, you become part of a new family. Our family values, our core values, are simple and straightforward. If you live them daily, you are going to be wildly successful. So embrace them and keep them close to your heart. Now that you have earned the title of airman, the hard work of technical training is in front of you. So use the skills and experiences that you have learned here at BMT and apply them to your new career field so that you are ready for whatever the future holds. That is your priority, to become a skilled and competent airman in your craft. We need airmen to ensure the defense of our nation, and as such, you will receive advanced training and with cutting-edge technology. You will build on the foundation of other key skills learned here today, such as confidence, leadership, resiliency, forward thinking, all to make sure that you have the skills you need to be the innovative airman of the future. Today, you join a tradition of honor, a legacy of valor, by serving our nation as part of our Air Force family. Now, in conclusion, and I know some of you are anxiously awaiting those words, I need to thank a few key people. First of all, if I could have the veterans in attendance, please stand up. These airmen, woo, yeah, we'll give them a hand. The airmen you see before you are your legacy. We are grateful for your service and for the sacrifices of you and your families, and all that you've done to make sure that you've ensured our freedom and our way of life. Thank you for joining us today. We will not let you down. Second, to our MTLs, and our military training leaders and our military training instructors, please stand up. The transformation that you have seen before you in these young airmen you will see again shortly is due to just the outstanding dedication and professionalism of this Corps. They are second to none. Their selfless service and dedication to excellence has and will continue to shape these newest airmen as they join our ranks in the world's greatest Air Force. Let's give them one big round of applause. Well done. Lastly, I would like to take this opportunity to recognize basic military training's most outstanding performer, someone who has demonstrated an ability to successfully navigate all assessments, testing their physical abilities, their academic aptitude, and their adaptability to the military environment through multiple progress checks. This airman has surpassed all others in challenges of training and has earned the distinction of being our top graduate of their class. The top graduate is from Flight 619, Airman Ronald J. Gagney.
Woo!
Airman Gagney's recruiter is Master Sergeant Vicki Martin from the 353rd Recruiting Squadron, 367th Recruiting Group at Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada. Congratulations, Airman Gagney. Well done. All right, now for the good stuff. Airmen, I have one question for you. Are you ready to join the ranks of the world's greatest Air Force? I think they're ready. How about you all?
Thank you, General Spangenthal. Flight commanders, place your flights at attention. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. Colonel Wilson will now come forward and administer the oath of enlistment.
Good morning, airmen, friends, family members. After nearly 16 months without an in-person graduation, we're beyond excited to welcome you all back. While the time frame of 16 months weighs heavily in this ceremony, the most important time frame and the reason that we are here today is the last 7.5 weeks of training these men and women have just gone through to make them not only airmen, but also better, stronger, and more resilient Americans. With the completion of this enlisted oath, so too do we welcome the completion of their training. Congratulations, welcome back, family and friends. Now, airmen, please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full name. I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. And that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States. And the orders of the officers appointed over me. According to the regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Congratulations, airmen, and welcome to the world's greatest air and space force.
Thank you, Colonel Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the singing of the Air Force song, followed by the departure of our official party. Congratulations, airmen, on achieving this historic milestone that marks the beginning of your career. Flight commanders, dismiss your flights.